In this video, we will be discussing arraying in 3D. If you'd like to follow along with this video, please open the file arrayingin3d.dwg located in the Working Files folder as discussed in the Working with this dataset video. You can use the array command to array 3D objects and get some very cool designs by just using the standard array command. Let's first look at this location here, and let's go ahead and array this object using the polar array around this base of this lamp here. The array command is located in the Home tab, Modify Panel, Array dropdown, and let's choose the Polar Array command. We'll go ahead and pick this 3D solid and press Enter. Again, looking at the command line window, it's asking for the center point of array. We'll go ahead and snap to any of the center points right here, and as you can see, you get an array of some sort, but you can change it in the contextual ribbon. Note that you can also click on any one of the options in the command line, but we'll just go ahead and click on this one, type 4, and then Enter, and notice how it updates automatically. Once you're done, click Close Array, and if you needed to change them afterwards, you could simply select the array again and change them here as well. Really cool stuff. Let's go ahead and zoom into this area over here. Let's say this is a pond, and we would like to array this tree around the pond to show some cool 3D visualization. We'll go ahead and start the path array, and we'll select the object, which is the tree, press Enter, and for the path curve, it's this polyline right here. Now, what AutoCAD does is it does its best guess to try and figure out what you want. That's okay. What we can do is simply select the base point option to first define a base point about which you want to start this. It's doing its best to try and figure out what you want. In this case, we want to change the tangent direction to define it to be somewhere along the axis of this line here. Notice how it now figures it out, and you now have the array that you want. There are two ways that you can create a polar array. You can choose the measure option or the divide option. Let's say for this one here, we want to choose the divide option, and we'll change our amount to 10, press Enter, and it divides that line with 10 items along it. Click the Close Array button, and now as you can see, we now have our 3D objects arrayed along that path. Again, to change it, you can simply select it and change it to whatever properties you want it to be. Pretty cool. Lastly, let's go ahead and draw a quick little building with some foundations and columns. Verify that your layer is set to A-base, and we'll go ahead and start the box command. Anywhere up in space here, just left click. And what we're first going to do is create the foundation for the bottom of this building. We'll do a 100 foot, 80 foot, 1 foot box and press Enter. Notice how it automatically does that for us. Zoom into the bottom left corner here, set your layer to A-column, and let's go ahead and draw our first cylinder. Now what we want to do is have this cylinder start 10 feet over this way and 10 feet up that way. Well, with O-tracking, you can accomplish this in one full sweep. Shift right-click and choose Temporary Track Point. Acquire this point, but don't left-click. Using extension OSnap, move to the right and type in 10 feet, press Enter. Notice this temporary track point that appears. This is exactly what we need. Now, without hovering near it, because it'll disappear if you do, simply go to the top here and type 10 feet and then Enter, and notice how it starts drawing the column for us. Let's go ahead and type in 8 for the radius, Enter. For the height, we want 10 feet, press Enter. And there's our first and initial column. Now what we want to do is rectangular array this to fit the columns within the foundation. Let's go ahead and start the rectangular array tool, select our column, press Enter, and again, it gives you some initial setting for the rectangular array. So what we want to do is define our total columns to 9 in the columns array for a spacing of 10 feet. Press Enter. For the rows, we want 7 rows, and for the spacing between them, we want 10 feet. Press Enter. Now, this is pretty cool, and we're done with just placing one column. That in itself would be pretty cool, but now, guess what we can do with 3D objects? You can actually set this with levels. We'll type 3 for 3 levels, and for the distance between the levels, we want 9 feet, and press Enter. Within a few minutes here, we actually have our completed column. To complete this off, let's go ahead and use the Copy command, and we'll copy our base to create the floors. We'll just click anywhere in space and go straight up, and click the Array option. We want a total of 4 items, and we'll go straight up using polar tracking. We want a total of 10 feet, and press Enter, and then Escape. And here is our completed building.